Let's talk more action. Let me bring Lucy. So we can get to understand exactly what nutritionists do. Yeah, they plan your meals, and I guess they tell you the stuff to eat and what not to eat. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Welcome to this conversation. I can see half of your head is cut off.
Oh.
Do you realize that? Great. That looks better. Not yet. I think move a bit back, or you can come closer and change the position of the phone.
I'm good.
Yeah, now you're good. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can.
Fantastic. So, talk to me. How's your day been?
Yeah, I had a great day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't complain. It was awesome.
That's good. It was awesome. So, I mean, for people who don't know about nutritionists, who is a nutritionist?
Yeah. A nutritionist is a profession. Let me start with nutrition is a profession, and nutritionists help clients to achieve their nutrition goals as well as manage their medical conditions. That's the work of a nutritionist.
Okay, and what's the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? Because I think those are two different things that people keep mixing up all the time.
Yeah, dietitians major mainly in medical conditions, but a nutritionist is like overall. You can do medical and you can do other things, but dietitian is strictly on medical therapy.
Oh, okay. And you know, the other question would be, so what did you go to school to study? Like, did you study stuff that we guys studied? I mean, I know you do things like biology and things like that. I don't know, chemistry, physics. What did you study in school? Especially at the uni, not secondary school. At college or university, what did you study as a nutritionist?
My course was nutrition and dietetics. Yes, you get those subjects. You must do your sciences, the physics, biology, chemistry, all those. They're included.
Ah, okay. And this was how many year course? Like 3 or 4?
It's 3 to 4 years, inclusive of your attachment and internship.
Oh,
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
I would now like for us to talk about nutrition. Why is it important? Why should we care about nutrition? Can't I just eat my carbs every day and just be good with it? What's wrong with that?
There is this thing that you are what you eat. That actually is very true, because actually whatever you eat, itajitokeza yenyewe. For example, if you indulge more on carbohydrates or more salt, eventually you'll become maybe diabetic or hypertensive, simply because you're consuming more of the sodium containing foods.
Oh, really?
So yes.
Okay, that's something I'm learning.
Yeah, so you are what you eat. Eat healthy foods, kila kitu kitajitokeza. Utakaa healthy, you'll be able to take control of your weight. So ukikula tu just mindless eating, itajitokeza tu with that weight yenye hautaki.
Okay, so let's now take it from the start, because when we are born we born with better immune system or a weaker immune system? Because we start to build it from that point on. And what exactly is it that helps to build immune systems from the age 0 all the way up?
Yeah, you start to build your immune system right from conception. That's why you're supposed to take care of your pregnancy, whatever you are eating. Chochote chenye unakula, it's either helping the developing fetus ama inamharibu more. Kwa hivyo, boosting your immune system inaanzia na what your mother took during pregnancy. Kwa hivyo, it's right from the natural defense yenye unazaliwa nayo up to maybe after 6 weeks, after the 6 months, when you start weaning your child, the foods that you are introducing, that's where you start again boosting the immune system. Kwa hivyo mtoto from From the first meal,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you determine your immune system.
From the very first meal. All right. And that is, I guess, the space where a lot of us tend to get it wrong. We tend to give our kids only the foods that they like. Like if a kid loves rice, they'll eat rice every day because they don't want to eat anything else. You know, when you have fussy eaters at that age, how do you go about it? What advice do you give us as nutritionists?
Sorry?
When children are growing up, they have their favorite meals and they expect that they'll eat those favorite meals every single day. For lunch or dinner and for breakfast, they have specific things that they like. So how do you go about dealing with a fussy child, a child who only likes specific foods?
I think it comes right from the introduction. When you're introducing foods, try to give variety. Give variety, because when you give only one type of food, mtoto atakuwa akijua this is the only food that I can eat. For example, the vegetables.
Yeah.
Watoto hawapendi vegetables completely. They see it and they start crying.
They're like, that's grass. I remember my son telling me, that is grass. I don't eat grass.
I don't know whether it's the color of the vegetables, but they completely hate the vegetables.
Yeah.
But when you give variety, for example, in weaning, give like maybe 10 varieties of vegetables. By the time wanakataa, they reduce to 5. Kwa hivyo utapata wamekataa the 5, but at least kuna 5 zenye wanaweza kula. The same way to carbohydrates. Give variety. Carbohydrates is not only the rice, the chapati, all those. Onyesha mtoto anaweza kula like the sweet potatoes, the ndoma, all those. Give variety. By the time mtoto anakuja kukataa, utapata like mtoto akona the 5 carbohydrates, the 5 vegetables and all that. Kwa hivyo utapata at the end of the day, mtoto wako anapata all that they require. So variety is the key.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Variety, yeah? And if you say variety is the key, what should they not miss out on? Like, what are the core foods that they must have on their tables?
Yeah. We have 3 major. Let me call them 4. We have the 4 major essential nutrients that must be incorporated in our diet. That is the carbohydrates, that you need it for energy. It fuels our body. And the carbohydrates, these are the ngwashe, the sweet potatoes, ndoma, the rice, ugali, all those. You need them for energy. Then you need the proteins. These are the building blocks in our body. The body building in our body. So you need them. The protein, you have the plant-based, the beans, the soy, all those. Then you have the animal-based, fish, poultry, all those eggs. Then we have the vitamins and minerals. The ones that we require more for the protective. They are more of protective foods. So we need them. And also we need the fats in our body.
Okay, and we also need fats as well.
In your plate, you must have a carbohydrate, you must have a protein, vitamin and minerals, and you get them from the vitamins in form of the vegetables and fruits in our diet.
That's amazing. And so because sometimes you see that kids are being given supplements, you know, they're, I don't know, being given multivitamins, or they're being given, I don't know, whatever, vitamin C or D, or, you know, just the general, you know, multivitamin. Why? Is it because they lack something? They have less of something?
Yeah, sometimes it could be out of a deficiency that maybe the diet only cannot meet the required level. So you get some are supplemented, but if maybe the case is not that severe, you can be advised on the right diet to get the mineral, the vitamin that you have a deficit in. But don't just wake up one day and decide that your child have a deficiency and go for the supplement. Don't do over the counter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then of course, when the kids get to teenage age, you know, then it becomes a whole other issue altogether, because either they're eating too much of something and less of another. But then when you're a teenager, or I think I can recall when I was a teenager, I think our appetites were a bit higher than, you know, when we were younger, when we were kids. So how do you manage a diet for a teenager?
You manage by giving what is enough. I think just give what is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe, for example, when you're taking the 3 major meals, that is the breakfast, lunch,
Yeah.
and supper, and maybe a healthy snack in between the meals. That way you'll be able to meet all the energy requirements that the teenager needs.
Okay. And then now you get into the 20s. So I'm starting from age 0 all the way up, because I know it's in the adult phase where all the questions start popping up. Now you get into your 20s after your teenagehood, and you start to realize, okay, I think there's something going on with my health. How should I go about it? So tell me about nutrition in your 20s.
Nutrition in your 20s, you need maybe to focus on a few things,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe your iron, your folate intake.
Mm-hmm.
You should focus more, because I'm sure at this age, though, like the reproductive age in Anzia, that's when you should be taking care of your fertility, maybe health. Kwa hivyo hata
Yeah.
chakula chenye unakula,
Mm.
uko supposed kuwa more iko restrictive. Jaribu avoid the junk, or those the unhealthy foods, and try to incorporate more of the healthy foods and those that will boost your fertility.
Okay. So that is in all of the 20s. Now, of course, you get into the 30s and then you start realizing, okay, hold up. I think my skin is starting to dry up. Now I'm in my 30s, and you know, of course, there are some things that are new to me now. Like, I never used to have like things like hormonal acne. Now, I don't know, 2 kids later, I'm like, hold up, what's going on? What's happening to my face? You know, yeah, you start to feel the changes, and maybe you now start to even change your habits. You're like, I'm not going to shower hot water. I'm going to shower lukewarm water, or even cold water, because sometimes when you shower water that's very hot, you actually feel the effect on your skin thereafter. So what happens now in your 30s? What is your nutrition advice for the 30s ages? And by the way, we're talking about male and female, not just the female side.
Yeah, on your 30s, maybe you'll concentrate more on the vitamin C foods to take care of your skin.
Yeah.
And also adequate fluid intake, and to be specific, water.
Yeah.
In your 30s, hapo ndo maji yuko supposed kukosa kwa nini kwa chupa. Have your water, make water your fluid of choice. Kunywa maji kabisa. Try to eat more of the fruits and vegetables. That's why your skin will get nourished.
Ah,
In your
okay.
30s, hiyo sio ule wakati wa kuindulge more on the red meat, the junk, hapana.
Those are some hard facts you're giving us right now. And then the 40s check-in. What do you advise people in their 40s right now? Is it the same advice you'd give people in their 30s?
No, I think in 40s, I'll start considering the non-communicable diseases. Some happened or like ugonjwa kama the diabetes. You are at a higher risk from the age 40 above. So I'll check maybe your carbohydrate intake. Yeah. As well as maybe your plate portioning. But at 40s, I'll be more on the non-communicable diseases, because that's where the risk factors start.
Okay. I would like for us to... Go on.
But he haimaanishi like when you're on your 20s, maybe on your 20s that hawezi pata ugonjwa kama diabetes. Yes, you can, but at 40s the risk factors increases.
Okay. So which is more healthier? There's a question here for you. Which is more healthier? From Bimbo's Flow, he's saying, is it losing or adding weight? Which one is healthier?
I think it depends with your weight.
It depends with your
If you
weight.
are
Okay.
if you are overweight or obese, of
Mm.
course losing weight will be healthier for you. When you are maybe underweight, gaining will be the healthiest way for you. So
Okay.
it depends with your weight and BMI.
All right. And there's another question for you here coming in from Ibra. He's saying, what is your opinion on vaccinations for babies after birth? Is this a question to ask a nutritionist? But anyway, yeah, if you can respond to it.
Yeah, vaccination, they are very important. They help boost your child's immune system, as well as they are preventative. They prevent your child from certain diseases. Kwa hivyo vaccination, please take your children for vaccination.
Mm.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
not harmful. They are meant to help your kid.
Great. I would like for us to take a brief break because there's something I think that's up with my lighting. I just need to fix that, and then we can come back and sort out and continue the conversation. But I'm liking how the flow of the conversation is at the moment, and we're going to get into the 40s and 50s and the 60s and the 60s, because I think that's where, I don't know if there are people in their 70s on Instagram, but I know for sure there's some in their 50s and 60s.
better.
Well, I was starting to wonder my lighting, and I wasn't very comfortable about it. But yeah, age of the 30s. Tell me about, no, 40s, right? Tell me about nutrition in your 40s. How seriously should people check it for men and for women? I know that for women, because I guess I know more about that side than I'll do for males. You know, there are things like menopause that start to check in for some people who get into early menopause and stuff like that. And then there are also these other health issues that come up. What do you advise people to do in their 40s? I have like how many years to go? I don't know, six or so years to get there.
Okay, this is the time that you should be more considerate on your diet, because at 40s, the risk factor for developing the non-communicable diseases increases. So you need to watch your diet very strictly. Watch your carbohydrates intake, watch your fat intake, your protein, like the whole of your plate. Check what you eat. Yes.
Okay. And so there's, I think a while ago, maybe some few days ago, you posted about drinking lemon water in the morning is such a great way to boost your hydration, in get in some vitamin C and support digestion. Do you want to tell us about that?
Like the lemon water, like it's a good thing of starting your day. It will give you that hydration, and also it's a way of detoxifying your body in the morning. So it will help you in hydrating, detoxifying, and also lemon's a good source of vitamin C. It will take care of your immune system and also your skin. So taking lemon water in the morning is a great way of starting your day.
All right. Before you eat anything, you start with lemon water. Before you put anything in your
lemon water, yeah, or even plain water, it can.
All right. Okay, even plain water is fine. All right. So let's now look at something else that you posted. You said a digestive system slows down with age. So high fiber fruits, vegetables, and whole grains are as important as ever. You want to tell us more about that as well?
Yeah, because with age, there is that slow digestion, like your body is undergoing maybe wear. Maybe, can I call it wear and tear?
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
wear and
for
tear.
lack of a better word, wear and tear. So you find that with advanced age, like cases of constipation, they are there. So that's the time maybe you need to take more of the soluble fiber to take care of your digestive system and also aid in digestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to take your fruits and vegetables very generously.
Fruits and vegetables. What? Are we going to be safe around here? We're going to start eating fruits and vegetables and drinking spinach. I've seen people drink spinach and I'm like, gosh, I'm not yet there yet. I haven't brought my mind to drinking spinach, not yet. Okay, so tell me something in terms of taking care of your health, because sometimes they say, and just like the topic is what you are, what you eat, sometimes people have complications like, there are complications of maybe endometriosis, complications around fibroids, complications around, breastfeeding and all of that. Some people struggle to get milk. And it can go on for like 2 weeks, when they're new moms, there's a whole struggle to it. What role does nutrition play in making these complications less painful?
Like in cases of maybe fertility, the endometriosis, and cases like PCOS, as a nutritionist, we come in to ease the symptoms. For example, in PCOS, we find that most of people who are battling with PCOS are obese or overweight. So as a nutritionist, when I come in, I'll try to tailor-made a diet that will help in losing weight. And by losing weight, some of the symptoms will be relieved.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe in cases of breastfeeding, I'll give a diet that will aid in milk production as well as that will aid in recovery, the postpartum recovery.
All right. And when it comes to meal plans, which is something that I know that you also do, what determines what meal plan someone should have? Is it determined by what their requirement is, what they want to do with their health, or how do you come up with a meal plan for your clients?
Yeah, meal plans are very individual. Like I make it for one client, one meal plan. Like you can't take another person's meal plan for your use, because I'll put in consideration your weight, maybe your nutrition and health goals, what your body needs. I'll put all that in consideration, and also maybe other health issues. For example, when I'm making a meal plan for a hypertensive person, it's not the same way I'll make it for maybe a normal person or non-hypertensive patient.
Right.
So there are many considerations that I put in place.
Okay, and
also
so take me through the process. Take me through the process. So someone calls and they're like, I want to do ABC. Walk us through that process so that when people say they want to contact you to have their meal plans done for them, they know exactly what they should expect. So walk us through that process. You get a call from Joy, and Joy says, I think I'm short on this nutrient, I'm short on this vitamin, and I'm short on that. Maybe I need to pump up my calories. How does your process now go from that point on?
I'll start with asking you your goals, maybe your nutrition, maybe your weight goals. Then from there, I'll do my own nutrition assessment.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll do the diet. I'll take you through a diet history to get to know what maybe you are taking more or what you are missing on your diet. Then from there, I like making diet based on maybe your financial status. I cannot recommend something that you cannot afford. Maybe what you can, I'll work with what you can afford. That's how I go about it.
Oh, okay. So it depends on the budget. So where there's a budget, then that makes for more allowance for an increased meal plan. Is that what you're saying?
I'll try to maybe, for example, let me give an example, maybe proteins. If you cannot afford fish and you can afford egg, I'll work for eggs. I'll not go for the fish. So I'll work with your economic and financial status, and also what your body requires. I'll try to put that in consideration.
All right. And so now when it comes to issues to do with working with natural products, because I think that's what nutrition is all about. You try to encourage your clients to only go for the organic products or organic foods. Why is this important to eat organic foods?
Maybe, for example, mostly the weight loss. You find people are going for all the weight loss products, the magical pills. But these things are temporary. When you take them, yes, you'll get the weight that you want. But when you go back to your previous eating behaviors, the weight gain will eventually come. So the plan should be a long-term, not those short-term for the pills and all those products. It should be a long-term eating plan. Yeah, go for the foods. Don't go for the pills and other products, because the change will be only temporary.
So I've seen some people say that they can't afford the all man, all man, all woman, all teen, is it? Yeah. And all these other supplements that are out there in the market. What are the alternatives to all of these supplements? Because if they are deficient on something, but then they can't get it, and especially, and I know you did mention that, what we're supposed to be eating at the different stages of our lives, in our teens, in our 20s, 30s, and 40s. But when you can't afford these all woman, all whatever supplements, what are the alternatives?
The alternatives is the food that you are taking.
Mm-hmm.
There are foods that are rich in specific nutrient and vitamin. That's why you can get anything that you are deficient in.
Right.
If you cannot afford for example, for the omega-3,
Mm-hmm.
if you cannot afford the omega-3 supplement itself, there's an option of healthy fish. You can go for the fish. So you don't have to worry about the supplementation. You can actually get the nutrients, the vitamins from the diet.
From the diet, right? That makes sense. In terms of complications that have to do with bones, because surprisingly, I got a message from someone who is 55 in my inbox, and they're like, "So what do I do if my bones are aging? How do I keep them active?" I guess.
If it's severe, that's when we recommend supplementation. But if just maybe an okay case, you can consider taking the calcium-rich foods.
Calcium.
These are the milk, the milk products. You have the yogurt, all those, an egg, bone soup, all that will help in boosting your bone density.
Bone soup, you said. Is it just any bone soup, or it has to be like beef? Or but when you say bone soup, can you be specific?
I think we have a rat, we have the camel soup,
Yeah.
we have the beef one. I think all of those are healthy.
All right. Another question that came through the DMs, and all of these people don't want their names to be mentioned, so please bear with us. Someone is saying here, when I have a complication, like a lower abdomen complication, is there any food specifically that can help me? Because I don't have endometriosis, but they're telling me that my fibroids are growing bigger.
Okay, can't make maybe an assumption of what the person is suffering from, but maybe it could be maybe irritable bowel syndrome or any other condition. I think I'll be in a better position to advise if I know exactly what the person is suffering from.
Okay, all right. But then because they've mentioned that their fibroids are growing bigger, I guess that's where the issue is. And because she mentioned fibroids, it actually brings me to a conversation. I have a cousin who I think had a surgery. She had fibroids, so they had to like get them out. But then some of the advice the doctor gave her was that in every meal of hers that she has, there has to be garlic in it. What is the importance of garlic in all of this mix?
Garlic has something that we call the allicin. It is a sulfur-containing compound, and it helps like in digestion, and also it is a great antioxidant. So the sulfur containing the allicin in it, the one that gives all these benefits. So the garlic is very good. You can take it either raw or in your salad. Right? It will help.
Raw or raw?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't consume it raw, you can just cook it.
All right. And also, what is now that we're talking about garlic, in terms of these other spices that people eat, turmeric and all of that, is it just a fast that people are obsessed with these turmeric things? Because, for example, if you go on YouTube right now, the videos with the highest number of views are those ones that are always talking about reducing your age, your skin can look, I don't know, 20 years younger and stuff like that. That's where everyone seems to pay most of the attention. But just tell us, from a nutritionist's point of view, do these things really work? And the generation we're living in today is that generation that wants things to be done instantly. Yeah, like I apply turmeric on my face today, tomorrow I wake up, my face is smooth. So where is your mind when it comes to those conversations?
Yeah, they are good fats. They are natural. The turmeric, the garlic, the ginger, all those fats, they are natural and they are good. And they are
Mm-hmm.
excellent source of antioxidants. First, they have anti-aging effects.
Mm-hmm.
And the antioxidant in them that help fight the infection. So I'll go for anything natural. So
Anything
don't,
natural.
anything natural, yes.
Okay. And we just read the news over here, and there was an announcement that the famous footballer, the legendary, has died, and they say he died of heart attack. And we all know that heart attacks are also a common thing in our parts of the world. And half the time, it's either, let's say, cardiac arrest and heart attack, I guess, are one and the same thing. What would you encourage that people do about their nutrition to avoid or to delay these kinds of attacks?
Yeah, to delay such the cardiovascular diseases, first you need to watch, like it all starts with your diet.
Mm-hmm.
Like how is your salt and how is your salt intake and sodium containing beverages? Because
Right.
when you take maybe much of salt, the sausages, the bacon, all those, the sodium in them is very high, that in return, it causes your blood pressure to go up. And when there is hypertension, it's like a starting case for all the cardiovascular diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And also your fat intake. Are you consuming healthy fats? Try to limit the saturated fats. Saturated fats will get them from the deep fried foods, like the fries, the mandazis, all those, and consumption of red meat, the red meat intake. Try to limit the red meat, because that's why you get the saturated fats, and red meat are also high in sodium.
They're high in sodium and they're also high in fat. So
And
regulate.
bad cholesterol. Yeah.
And bad cholesterol. Wow. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally get it. Eric Kitili is saying, I'm streaming live from Seattle in Seattle, Washington. To me, I drink lemon every morning. Eat apple, kiwi, lemon. I stopped having milk. I used to have 2% milk with chocolate, but I think I'm gaining weight. And then I guess it breaks off thereabouts. But is there a problem in taking milk? Because people who are all about their health say they need to cut down on their milk intake. But then in some cultures, milk is like the only thing that keeps people going. So what do you have to say about that, Lucy?
I think there is nothing wrong with taking your milk, your cup of milk, maybe daily or on alternate days.
Yeah.
Very healthy, good source of calcium and vitamin D. So I don't see any problem with milk. Personally, I have no problem with milk.
All right. Because he's in the US, maybe the milk in Seattle is different from the milk on our side. I don't know. All right. But yeah, Eric, that's a good point that you just raised there. Sami Rono is saying, which foods should I eat to reduce weight? Because I don't eat meat, but I'm growing big.
You see, in weight gain, the proteins are bodybuilding,
Yeah.
but carbohydrates are the energy giving and the source of weight. So when you are watching your weight or you want to cut down the excess weight, watch your carbohydrates intake. You can go for a low carbohydrate diet. Try to limit some of these refined and added sugars, carbohydrates.
Yeah.
That's when you'll be able to maybe to achieve that goal of weight loss. But it is the carbohydrates, not proteins.
All right. Sami, I hope you heard that. And also Eric is saying, I don't take sugar too, only honey, but I love meat and fish. Is that where his answers to his weight gain could be? In meat and fish? But fish, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah.
All right. And so let's talk about these other complications. As you know, and I'm sure you've talked about this on various platforms, when it comes to cancer, cases of cancer, they're so high that, you know, either it could be an issue to do with diet, or it could just be an issue to do with the environment. I don't know what it is, but I want to hear your perspective, because there are increased cases of lung cancer, increased cases of all the types of cancer, the different types of cancer, lung cancer, throat cancer, breast cancer, and all of that. There's just too many complications. What is your take on it? How do you, as a nutritionist, play into conversations of reducing or curbing the numbers of cancer patients or cancer deaths? Okay, what happened? I think did we lose her? Did we lose her? Guys, if you have any questions, I would like to encourage you to just go to the questions section just down below. There's like a question mark icon. That's where you're going to be asking your questions right there. And I'm seeing already a question. Someone is asking, what if we start a search? Can we? Okay, all right. It's so easy to lose weight after the birth of my 2 babies. Now the third, my weight is not dropping. All right, that's a good question to ask Lucy as well. Let's see if we can get her back so we can continue the conversation. But it's quite interesting how much what we put in our bodies has an effect on literally our entire ecosystem. And so I want to just see how this all plays into that. And also, if you have any questions whatsoever that you would want to ask her, I think you can also type those questions down below or in the comments section, and we'll be able to pass them on to Lucy. Okay, let me bring her back. I don't know what happened. I think she got a phone call or something. Yeah. I want to hear her perspective on the increased cancer rates, cancer cases we have, not just in Kenya, but around the region. Lucy, welcome back. Sorry, we lost you there for a minute. Let's talk about let's talk about the cancer cases, the increased cancer cases that we have in the country and just across the East Africa region. There's all kinds of complications here, and to some extent it could be related to our lifestyle or our culture, that in some cultures, they eat meat every day. But I don't know, if it was to eat meat every day, I don't know how the Maasais would be living in today's day and age, So there has to be something else that's related to all of these cancer cases. Where do you think the problem is from your perspective?
I think when it comes to dietary wise, I think we are consuming more of the processed. We are going for the canned, all those kind of foods instead of the natural foods. And when we find that these foods, maybe during their packaging, so much chemicals are added in them for preservation.
Yeah.
And when you consume all these chemicals, they have effect on your cells. They create these free radicals that destroys the cells, and in return, you are at a greater risk of developing all these diseases like the cancer. So I think what you are consuming, let's try to limit the processed, the canned, all those, and we go for the natural foods.
We go for the natural foods. I like that. And also there are issues to do with bile, the bile, is it bile or the pancreas? Pancreas as well. Do you think that too is related to our dietary decisions? Or you think that, when it comes to those other bodily organs, there are other things that are at play here?
Yeah, diet plays a role. For example, when you take maybe too much sugar, the carbohydrates, and to be specific, the refined carbohydrates, insulin must be produced. And insulin is produced in the pancreas. When you put too much pressure on your pancreas to produce more insulin, with time it's going to wear, and eventually you'll have issues with your pancreas. The same way when you consume too much fat, the excess fat is stored in your liver. At the end, you'll have issues with your liver.
Issues. Wow. Okay. And also when it comes to things like kidney stones, people have had their you know, kidney stones complications. Other people say their gallbladders have had to be removed, and so many other short stories altogether. And so the question I want to ask you is, how serious is it when it comes to those core organs? Like, are there certain foods you need to stay away from, or particular foods you need to stay away from, just to make sure, say, you do not I don't know, because some people say kidney stones are genetic, but are they? And if they're not, how do you make sure that you don't have these complications? And I know it has a lot to do with the diet, but what particular foods should people stay away from when it comes to things like kidney stones and their gallbladders being taken out altogether?
It all starts with what is in your plate, like the portioning. How is your carbohydrates? Like the fruits and vegetables, the portioning of your plate.
Yeah.
The type of fat that you are consuming. Because when you're consuming much of the saturated fats, that's bad cholesterol in your body, and it will have effect on your bowels, on your gallbladder, your liver, and all that. Try to balance your plate healthy. Let half of your plate be occupied by the vegetables. Then the first quarter, the proteins, and mostly the plant-based proteins. Then the other quarter, the carbohydrates. And try to take water frequently. That's when you'll be able to avoid maybe these things like the gallstones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, if you can see this picture on my right, what is wrong with this food? Is there something wrong with this food, or it's okay? Is it a balanced plate? Is it a balanced
very
plate?
okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. I got that off your profile anyway. So I'm sure by the time you posted it, you're like, okay, I need to post something real healthy over here. And there's also a question about vegetables. Are there vegetables that are toxic? Because today we're being told to eat a lot of vegetables, but some of them have so many pesticides, and so there's that complication as well. What do you have to say about that?
For vegetables, the thing, if you're not growing them yourself, when you buy them from the market, just make sure you're washing them thoroughly to clear off the pesticides in them.
So you wash them with vinegar?
Yeah, you can do vinegar, you can wash them thoroughly. Yeah.
Okay.
It will help clear the pesticide.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Just Steve is saying also water is polluted with chemicals and all that. So we have fish from this particular sources, you know, there's fish from China, there's fish from all over the place, and we're being told to eat more fish, and this is complicating everything even more. But anyway, so tell me, in terms of taking care of the aged, because they always encourage people that as they age, they should have more, I guess they what do they say, 60% of vegetables, is it? And 20% of what? You know better. People in their 50s and 60s, because there are people here who are asking questions about their grannies and grandpas and parents as well. How do they get their diets right?
Yeah, for the aged, try to consume more of the fruits and vegetables and whole carbohydrates, because with age there is this case of constipation, like they find it hard during their bowel movement. So try to give them whole carbohydrates and variety of fruits and vegetables. It will help in digestion and also in bowel movement.
Okay, so how do you know that your bowel movement has a problem? I know constipation is one of them, but after how many days of not going to do a number 2, do you now say, okay, I think something is up here?
I think it's different for, there are those people who go the number 2 every day, others maybe after 2 days. But when you notice maybe you are straining, that's when you should know that there is a problem. But it doesn't matter whether it's 2 days or 3 days, as long as it's okay.
All right. And my next question now would be, how do you detox? After you figured you have that problem, what do you do to detox?
To detox the constipation?
Without having
For
to
constipation,
buy, I don't know, what are they called? What are they called? What are they?
the
Laxatives?
laxatives and all
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
you go for the soluble fiber, and the soluble fiber you get it from the fruits and vegetables. And also you could be constipating because you're not having enough fiber.
Oh,
So go
okay.
for the fruits and vegetables, and also try to incorporate more of the fiber and increase your water intake, because also fiber without water, you get more constipated.
That's very true. All right. Another question for you here. Someone is saying, I got an accident a few years ago, and because of that, my movement was limited. And so I have to eat particular meals to avoid putting on weight. But I feel like that is denying my body the food that it's meant to, the food that it's meant to have. How do I go about this issue?
I don't think, maybe I don't know the diet that maybe you are limiting yourself from, but whether your movement is limited or not, you're supposed to take all the body that requires. You should have a carbohydrate in your diet,
Yeah.
a protein,
He's actually
all
saying,
those.
he's saying that he
Yeah.
was told not to eat ugali. What is the alternative for foods like that?
You have things like sweet potato, you have things like ndoma, all those. And also, I don't think that ugali is bad, only the portioning of your ugali that matters.
The portioning, yeah? Yeah, I like that. All right, next question. What do you advise? And in fact, let me pop it up here. I think, let me see. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, are you able to see that? You're saying, Mama Baraka is saying, it was so easy to lose weight after the birth of my 2 babies. Now the third, my weight is not dropping. Yeah, my weight is not dropping. What do you have to say, Lucy?
Just be patient with your weight. Watch what you are eating. Maybe during your third pregnancy you overate. I don't know, but just be patient with your weight. Watch what you are eating, and eventually you're going to get that desired weight you want.
All right. This is Shah is saying limit sifted rice and take wholemeal flour that is not highly refined or processed. I think that was in response to the person who asked about them being asked to stay away from ugali and stuff like that. There's another question here. Do you think eating more fruit can make you lose weight easily? Easily is the key word.
Yeah, fruits they have less calories, so yes, they help in weight loss.
They
But
help
you
in
can't
weight
take
loss.
maybe too much fruits, but also you're taking too much carbohydrate. They can't work like that.
Okay. There's a question here from a 29-year-old. Ooh, okay. Anonymous. I am trying to look younger. I miss my teenage skin. Here we go. So there are quite a number of us. I miss my teenage skin. And I'm being told that omega-3 helps build collagen, but I cannot afford the supplements. And I don't like fish. So what am I supposed to do? It's a complicated one.
Well, maybe for the omega-3, maybe if the person wants specific the omega-3, you can get it from the seeds. It is there in the chia seeds. You can get it from the flax seeds. Like all seeds and nuts, you can get the omega-3 there. And also try to incorporate more of the vitamin C to help in your skin and collagen.
Vitamin C helps with the skin, yeah. All right. Now that you've said that, when you say collagen, is it only found in fish, or there's some other foods? You said chia seeds, and you also mentioned something else. But what if these chia seeds are not easily accessible? What if maybe she she feels like even the chia seeds are not something for her to go for. What are her alternatives?
We have other nuts and seeds like the safflower, the macadamia, the almonds, all those you get the omega-3 from them. So there are so many alternatives.
All right. Next question for you. And actually, it has also been asked, I think, in the comments here by someone called Bimbo's Flow, who is saying, what are some thoughts on rugby players' nutrition? And then there's someone here also who is saying, I'm building muscle for, I'm building muscle because of the kind of work that I do. I think he says he's, what are they called? The bodyguards, yeah? The clubhouse bodyguards. And I think one of the requirements is for them to build mass. Is it muscle?
Yeah.
What foods can I eat to build muscle? And then there's another question, similar question, but now from a female who is saying, what foods do I need to eat to build muscle? Because, because I feel I need to add weight.
For building muscles,
so these are these are two different genders, male and female. So have that in mind.
That's when the proteins come in, because the proteins they help build the muscles. So you need to consume much of the complete proteins, the healthy ones. These are the fish, the poultry, all those. But also in gaining muscles, you must work closely with your fitness or your trainer. It's not only the diet, but it's exercise and diet. So apart from consuming your proteins, you need to be in contact with the trainer.
Okay. All right. With a trainer. Next question. Let's see. Yeah. Eric is saying fruits have sugar too. How does that work?
Work in terms of what?
So sometimes they say, stay away from sugar and all of those things. And then now there are things like mangoes that also do have quite a certain amount of sugar. So I guess that's where but fruits have sugar too. How does that work?
Yeah. The sugars are natural, not the added sugars. That's the difference. The sweetness from the fruits is natural.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. This is Shari saying reduce intake of sugar or sugary foods to reduce the damage of collagen in the skin. Oh, okay. All right. So sugar is it's pretty bad, yeah? Should we take honey instead of sugar? Should we alternate, or should we just replace sugar with honey?
Just limit. You don't have to
just
limit the intake.
Okay.
Do it in moderation.
All right. There's also another question for you here coming in from a gentleman who is saying, my eyesight is terrible and I'm being told carrots do not work on adults. What should I eat to improve my eyesight? By the way, that goes for so many of us over here.
Plus, I don't know why it doesn't work for adults. For me,
do carrots work for us? Because me, I just eat them. I just eat them raw. I don't know, but I don't see what they're doing for me. So I think I could also fall in that category of this gentleman here who is asking about his eyesight.
Maybe the carrots, that is the vitamin A. When it comes to the sight, the vitamin A plays a role in it. Vitamin A rich foods, those are the carrots that contain the carotenoids. But also the carrots, like you said, you eat them raw. Yeah. But remember, vitamin A, it is a fat-soluble vitamin. So carrot will benefit you more when it's cooked rather than eaten raw.
Oh, when it's cooked, yeah?
Yeah, because it's a fat-soluble vitamin.
Okay. All right. And overcooking them is also bad. So
yeah, you killed all the nutrients.
Wow. All right. Someone is saying, I never understood why sugar gives tonsils. Honey does not. processed, non-processed? I don't know.
Yeah, the sugar is highly processed compared to honey. The sweetness in honey is natural. So you find when you take much of the sugars, eventually your tonsils zitatokea.
Yeah. Okay. How much do you charge per month for weight loss programs?
I think maybe if you're interested, just DM me. Just DM
Okay,
me.
it's a negotiable rate, yeah?
Yeah, it's negotiable.
Okay. Do you work with a rate card or you negotiate as per client's budget?
It's rate card, but maybe I can consider 1 or 2 clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And where do people get you when they want to get in touch with you? Besides DMing you, how else do they get in touch with you?
Maybe through Facebook, my Facebook page, Lucy Chege. Here on Instagram at Lucy Chege M. And also maybe on WhatsApp.
Okay.
I can provide them with my number.
Yeah, please.
It's
Please do.
0704 770 078.
Okay. All right. And you're not afraid of being stalked?
No, hiyo ni namba ya kazi, sio personal.
Okay, so let's just put it out there. Okay. All right. So we're almost coming close to the end of our conversation, and I wanted us to wind up by you just talking to people about what exactly it means to just make sure that they get their body, they understand their body more, so that they're able to treat it right, to feed it right, so the body can also give back the same energy that it's being given. What would you like to say to that?
I think by doing that, I'll give maybe healthy eating tips. This is general eating tips. Eat more of the fruits and vegetables. Limit the saturated fats in red meat and in fries. Plan your meals in advance. This will give room for variety and diversification. And also try to limit processed and added sugars. That way you'll be able to take care of your body, and also the body will take care of you.
All right.
And for kids, let's try to reinforce that culture of healthy eating in them. Make them understand that they can go for a week or even 2 without the fries and the sausages.
Well, I have a 5-year-old, 5 going on 6. Trust me, it doesn't work so easily like that. When he says, I'm not taking porridge today, that's exactly what he means. And so it's crazy, by the way. Kids are they're just little stubborn adults. That's all I can say about kids. Then there's a question here from Kenya, who is saying, am I overweight if I am 16 and about 77 to 78 kgs in weight? Am I overweight?
I can't answer that. She has not provided her height. Maybe
so her BMI.
I don't know her BMI. Her BMI, yeah.
Okay, all right. So you wanna respond to that if you can. Is being fat a choice or a calling?
Wow.
Yep. That's a complicated question. All right. All right. Okay. I'm gonna skip that. Okay. One more question. Let me take a question off of Facebook, and there's someone who is saying, yeah, my mom is diabetic. How do I help her feel better? Because it's not the food that is stressing her. In addition to her just knowing that she has diabetes, it affects her appetite.
First, I think it's acceptance. Just accept the condition and know that this is a it's a chronic disease that has no cure, but well manageable with diet and medication. The first thing is to accept the condition, and also the people around that person. Make it easier for that person.
Okay, for that person, right? And then when it comes to the foods, people with diabetes, what would you encourage that they eat, that they stay away from, and things like that? Because they already don't take sugar. Some of them don't take salt. So what do you encourage that they eat more of?
Encourage more of the vegetables, less of refined carbohydrates, and more of the whole grain. Go for the brown rice, go for the brown ugali, the cassava, the ndoma, the sweet potatoes, all those, and try to limit more of the white bread, the white rice, and all that. Because when it comes to diabetes, it's all about the foods that give sugar as the end product. So watch your carbohydrates intake.
All right, and what about people with reflux?
Sorry?
People who have reflux. The reflux, what is the best way to explain it? Reflux is, it's like chronic. It's a chronic reflux where people constantly, it's like a constant heartburn that people have. And for some, it's chronic, like they have it from a younger age, while for others, it starts off on them in their 50s, sometimes in their 60s.
Like when it comes to nutrition management in reflux, it's recommended maybe you take small but frequent meals. Don't go for one big plate, but you can try to take the small but frequent meals, and also don't just eat and sleep immediately. You can take 1 hour or 2 before you sleep, and that way maybe it can help in relieving the reflux.
All right. Now let's get back to your career as a nutritionist. Does it pay? Was it worth it? Like, do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you feel like, okay, I went to school and I studied this, it's the right thing for me to have studied?
Yeah, first it's paying, and I feel good as a nutritionist, but also it comes with its own challenges.
Yeah.
Like maybe most of the nutritionists are unemployed. Like it becomes a challenge when you are studying nutrition with the mind of getting employed. That's where the challenge comes in. And also there is this thing of people expect, like maybe say free services, they expect you to give information for free. I don't know why, but
like
that's
right
a
now,
challenge
right?
Not right,
Sorry.
not
Sorry
right now.
that way. Yeah.
Not like right now. Like when a client approaches you, when you tell them like, I do this for consultation, I charge this for meal plans, like you find them they want like maybe for free. I don't know why, but that's a challenge we face as nutritionists.
Right. I can imagine. So when people just call you and say, hey, by the way, so this and this is happening, so what do you think I should do? And they expect that you're just going to give them advice and all of that. So how does that make you feel, and how do you react to those kinds of inquiries?
Sometimes I do give just free advice, free nutrition counseling and education, but maybe when it starts too much, I have to consume maybe much of my time. I make you understand that I'm doing this is my career, it's my profession, and it has to pay. I make my clients understand that.
Okay. And have you ever turned down jobs for your clients? And if yes, how? Why?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so we can DM you, we can reach you on WhatsApp, and we can contact you on Facebook in case we want to get in touch, right?
Yeah, for all your medical nutrition therapies, from weight loss, diet planning, that's baby weaning, PCOS management, all those, you can contact me, DM me, and I'll answer all your questions, and we can do a meal plan for you.
All right. Do you charge for consultation? If yes, how does that go?
Yes, I do. Once you reach out to me, we can talk more.
Okay. All right. And to those people who do intermittent fasting, this is a question that just came in, and hopefully it can be the last question. Intermittent fasting. Do you encourage people to go for intermittent fasting?
Yes, I do. You can do it. It's good for weight management, but it has to be very keen. If you are maybe diabetic type 1 or type 2, you're having any eating disorder, you are pregnant, you are not supposed to go for the intermittent fasting. And also when you're doing intermittent fasting, make sure you stay hydrated by drinking water or any zero-calorie fluid. And also don't starve yourself in the name of intermittent fasting.
Okay, carbohydrates are necessary for new moms, not just for breast milk production, but also for mental health and hormone regulation and more. Hormone regulation, really, carbohydrates.
Yeah, that's one of the function of carbohydrates.
Okay, all right. Anything else you would want to add in your final remarks? Talk to your fans. I see you have so many of them on here. Talk to your fans.
Maybe my final remarks, I can say, we are in COVID era. We are doing well. We are washing our hands. We are sanitizing. But some of these diseases, like the non-communicable, you cannot avoid them by just washing your hands. Yes, you are going to continue with proper sanitation, but also let's watch our diet, because this is where you get all these diseases, the starting point of all these diseases. So let's eat healthy and have a healthy lifestyle and living.
All right, have a healthy lifestyle and living. The pandemic does not know about your diet. Yeah. But also it does require that should you get it, you also need to increase your intake of what? Is it lemon water? Is it lemon water or ginger tea? Do you want to talk about that, by the way, as we bring this to a close? Oh my word, sorry. But yeah, let's talk to us about that. In the event that we get COVID.
Yeah.
God forbid.
I think most of us are doing lemon and ginger, the concoction, the dawa. Yes, it's good. It's loaded with vitamin C, a very strong antioxidants that help our body, that boost our body, and also it stimulates our immune system. So the lemon and ginger concoction is good, but still dawa ya corona. Keep that in mind.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Lucy. It's been amazing having you on here. I love the conversation, and I wish you all the best. There's someone who has asked about what is the cure for hangovers, but I don't know if you want to you want to respond to that. All right. But thank you so much. DM, the one who asked the cure for hangovers, please DM. But I'm sure lemon and water, yeah, could help you somehow. Lemon and water could help you in a lot. So thanks a lot, Lucy. It's been awesome having you on here. Much appreciated. And guys, if you want to get in touch with Lucy, you can call her number 0704 770078. And you can also DM her on Instagram and also on Facebook. So until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take care. Wear mask, sanitize.